Welcome to all. My name is Dr. K. Sujata, Assistant Professor of Mathematics, Government Degree College, Kukatpalli. Today I am going to explain about the kernel and range of linear transformation. In this mainly we will discuss the kernel of the linear transformation, how to define the kernel in the linear transformation, what are the main examples, theorems in the regarding kernel of linear transformation and range of linear transformation. In this also we will discuss the examples and theorems also. First we will define the kernel of a linear transformation. What is the definition of the kernel of linear transformation? Let T from vector space V to W be a linear transformation, then the set of all vectors V in V that satisfy T of V is equal to 0 is called the kernel of T and is denoted by ker of T. That means every element of B mapping to only the zero element of W, then the set of all vectors V in V is called as the kernel of T. That can be defined in the form of set ker of T is equal to ker T is equal to V such that T of V equal to 0 for every V belongs to V. This is the main definition of the kernel of a linear transformation. That means T is a transformation from V to W. The set of all vectors V in V satisfies the condition T of V equal to 0. Then that is called as a kernel of T. Kernel of T is simply defined as ker of T. For example, to define the kernel of a linear transformation, V is R cube, W is also R cube, T is the orthogonal projection of any vector xyz onto the xy plane. That means T of xyz is equal to x comma y comma 0. Then the kernel of T is the set of consisting of 0, 0, S, where S is the real number. Ker of T is equal to 0, 0, S. S is a real number. See here, this is the origin 0, 0, 0. T of xyz is defined as x comma y comma 0. Any point on the z line is a 0, 0, z. Therefore, the kernel of the T is defined on the z axis, that is 0, 0, s, where s is the real number. That means, therefore, that will be d of xyz will be 0, 0, 0. That means, therefore, it forms a, the every element of T can be, V can be mapped to only the 0 element of the W, then it is called as a kernel of T. Therefore, the kernel of T is the set of all vectors on the z-axis. Z-axis means 0, 0, z. Finding the kernel of a linear transformation in the matrices. Taking the example in the matrices, T of A is equal to A power T, where T is a linear transformation from M 3 by 2 to M 2 by 3. That is called as a transpose linear transformation. Here is the transpose linear transformation. Therefore, kernel of T is equal to, therefore that can be defined as 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, because of every element of that is only 0 mapped to 0 element of the M2 by 3. That's why the element 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 forms an element of the kernel of T. Because of other element cannot be mapped to the 0 element of the matrix M2 by 3. That's why, therefore, this matrix only 3 by 2, this 0 matrix only mapped to the 0 matrix of M2 by 3. That's why this element only consists in the kernel of T. In the previous example, see here, kernel of t is equal to 0, 0, comma s means, therefore t of 0, 0, s means that means x 0, 0, 0. That means every element of 0, 0, s can be mapped to the 0 element of the 0 w. That's why the kernel of t contains the elements of contained on the z-axis, that is 0, 0, s. Whatever the element s is, whatever the s is any real number that mapped to only because of the linear transformation t of xyz can be defined xy0. That's why t of 0, 0, s is equal to 0, 0, 0. That's why every element of the 0, 0 form 0, 0, s can be mapped to only 0 element of the W. Therefore, kernel of T contains these type of elements. That's why the kernel of T is the set of all vectors on the z-axis. In the transpose linear transformation, only 0 element, that is 3 by 2 0 element can be an element of the kernel of T. You can easily define because of the 0 element only mapped to the 0 element of M2 by 3. That's why kernel of T contains only this matrix. The kernel of the zero and identity transformations. How to define the kernel of zero and identity transformations? What is that one? If T of B is equal to 0, the zero transformation from T is a mapping from V to W, then care of T is equal to V. Because of every element of V can be mapped to only 0 element of W. That's why kernel of T contains all the elements of V, all the elements of V. That's why kernel of T is equal to V. Therefore, this is the zero transformation. Therefore, in this, every element of V is also an element of the kernel of T. Because of every element of V can be mapped to 0 element of the W. Therefore, this is the zero transformation. Then kernel of T also contains all the elements of V. In regarding to identity transformation, T of V is equal to V. Therefore, that identity transformation T from a vector space V to itself, then kernel of T is equal to only contains 0 vector. Therefore, the only T of 0 is equal to 0 vector. That's why kernel of T contains only 0 vector. These are the important examples regarding zero and identity transformations. Taking the one more example, finding the kernel of a linear transformation. Define T of x is equal to A into x, where A is the matrix of 2 by 3, 1 minus 1 minus 2 minus 1, 2, 3. Therefore, the x vector is x1, x2, x3. Here T is a mapping from R cube to R square. Therefore, what is the kernel of this linear transformation? Therefore, here kernel of T is equal to the elements of R cube. The elements of R cube means this is the ordered triad x1, x2, x3. T of x1, x2, x3 is equal to the 0 element of R square, that is 0, 0. That means where x1, x2, x3 belongs to R cube. Therefore, T of x1, x2, x3 is equal to 0, 0. Therefore, by the definition of T of x is equal to A into x, 1 minus 1 minus 2 minus 1, 2, 3, x1, x2, x3 is equal to 0, 0. Therefore, to solve x1, x2, x3 by taking the echelon form, by using the elementary row operations, it can be reduced to echelon form. Therefore, by using the first row first element R2 1 of 1, we get this 1 0 minus 1 0 0 1 1 0. Therefore, see here x1 minus x3 is equal to 0, x2 plus x3 is equal to 0, x3 is equal to t, we have to take an x2 is equal to minus t, x1 is equal to simply t. T is common, 1 minus 1, 1. Therefore, kernel of t contains t into 1 minus 1, 1, t where t is any real number. That means span of 1 minus 1, 1. Therefore, this is the kernel of the t with respect to the where the linear transformation defined in the matrix form T of x is equal to Ax. Therefore, here we get the kernel of T is equal to span of 1 minus 1, 1, where it is spanned by the vector 1 minus 1, 1, where T is any scalar. Theorem. The kernel of linear transformation is always subspace of V. That is the theorem statement. That means the kernel of the linear transformation T from B to W is a subspace of the domain V because of the kernel elements also subset of V. That's why the kernel of the linear transformation is always subspace of the domain V. Therefore, this is the main statement of the theorem. Now we have to prove that the kernel is a subspace of V. Subspace of V means mainly you have to remember two conditions, vector addition and scalar multiplication. It contains the zero element. Then we say that the subset will be a subspace of the given vector space. By using that definition, now we have to prove the kernel is a subspace of V. Because of T of 0 is equal to 0 anywhere. By the previous theorem, compulsory the 0 element will be exist in the both the vector spaces. Therefore, the kernel of T is a non-empty subset of V because of at least 0 vector is exist in the vector spaces. Therefore, kernel of T is a non-empty subset of V. Let's take the two vectors u and v are the two vectors in the kernel of T. Then by the definition, T of u plus v is equal to, because of given that already T is a linear transformation from V to W. That's why by using the linear transformation definition, T of u plus v is equal to T of u plus T of v. So already U belongs to kernel T, V is also kernel of T. Therefore, by the definition of U belongs to kernel of T, therefore T of U is equal to 0. V is also an element of kernel of T, therefore T of V is also 0. 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. Therefore, here by using the T is a linear transformation, we get T of U plus V is equal to 0. Because of u and v are the kernel, the elements of kernel of T, u plus v is also an element of a kernel of T. Similarly, T into C into U is equal to, by the linear transformation definition, C into T of U. Therefore, C into 0 is equal to 0, where U belongs to kernel of T. Therefore, the vector U can be multiplied by C is also an element of kernel of T. Therefore, kernel of T is a subspace of V according to the previous theorem. Therefore, any non-empty subset of V is a subspace of V. It is closed under vector addition and scalar multiplication. Then we say that the subset is called as a subspace of V. That's why here kernel of T is a non-empty subset of V, and also T is closed under vector addition and scalar multiplication. Kernel of T is closed under vector addition and scalar multiplication. U plus V belongs to kernel of T. The scalar multiplication is also belongs to kernel of T. That means kernel of T is closed under vector addition and scalar multiplication. Then we say that kernel of T is a subspace of the domain set V. This is important theorem. Finding the basis for the kernel of T. Let T is a mapping from r to the power of 5 to r to the power of 4 be defined. T of x is equal to ax, where x is in r to the power of 5 and a is equal to 1 2 0 1 minus 1 2 1 3 1 0 minus 1 0 minus 2 0 1 0 0 0 2 8. Find a basis for the kernel of T as a subspace of r to the power of 5. Now, to find the kernel of T means to find all x can be satisfied, T of x is equal to a into x is equal to 0. By the definition of the kernel of T, this is the definition. T of x is equal to a into x, that is equal to 0. Thus, we need to form a augmented matrix of A and 0 matrix. Therefore, first write the augmented matrix of A and 0 matrix, write in the form of column vectors. Therefore, by using the Gauss-Jordan echelon form, that means by using the row elementary operations, that is 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 form. Therefore, by using that formula, using number of elementary row operations, we can get the resultant echelon form matrix is this one. So compulsory you have to do number of operations here. To taking this one will be 0. That means R2 1 minus 2, R3 1 into 1. This is already 0. Therefore these two operations. Next we can take this to second row second element as 1, and by using that one we can make it as a first row second element, and all are already these are zeros. Therefore by using that row number of row elementary operations, we can get this echelon form. Write in the form of linear equations: x1 2x3 minus x5 equal to 0, x2 minus x3 minus 2x5 is equal to 0, x4 plus 4x5 is equal to 0. Taking x5 is equal to t, therefore x4 is equal to minus 4t, x3 is equal to s, therefore x2 is equal to s plus 2t, x1 is equal to minus 2s plus t. Therefore, that can be separated the constants s and t. First, separate the s. In the first, minus 2, s coefficient is minus 2. Here 1, here 1, here no s, but you can write it as a 0. Here no s, therefore that will be 0. Next to t is common. The second column vector can be written as t coefficient is 1, t coefficient is 2. There is no t is there, that's why write 0. Here minus 4, 1. Therefore, the x can be spanned by these two column vectors: minus 2, 1, 1, 0, 0, and 1, 2, 0, minus 4, 1. Therefore, this forms a basis for the kernel of T. This forms a basis for the kernel of T. To find the basis of a kernel of T, first write the augmented matrix of A 0 matrix. And the augmented matrix means A matrix including the 0 column matrix, that is called as a augmented matrix of A 0 matrix. Therefore, to find out the basis for the kernel of T, first write the augmented matrix A matrix including 0 column matrix. Therefore, write the augmented matrix A 0 column. A matrix is this 4 by 5 matrix. Write the 0 column vector here. Right. Next, by using the Gauss-Jordan echelon form and by using number of row elementary operations, then we get this reduced echelon form matrix. We write in the form of linear equations: x1 plus 2x3 minus x5 equal to 0, x2 minus x3 minus 2x5 equal to 0, x3 plus 4 x5 equal to 0. Therefore, there are three equations, 5 variables are there. That's why first we take the two variables x5 is equal to t and x3 is equal to s. That can be all other variables can be in the form of s and t. We can get this resultant matrix for the values of x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 in the terms of s and t. Therefore, take the s and t common. We get the two column vectors forms a basis for the kernel of t. This is important one to find the basis for the kernel of t. This method is very important. Coming to the corollary of the above theorem, let T is a mapping from R to the power of n to R to the power of m be a linear transformation given by T of x is equal to A into x. Then the kernel of T is equal to the solution space of Ax equal to 0. This is very important one. T is a mapping from R to the power of n to R to the power of m be a linear transformation. It is defined as T of x is equal to A into x. Then the kernel of T is equal to the solution space of Ax equal to 0. That means, therefore, that right in the form of augmented matrix A and 0. Therefore, we find the solution for this equation that is called as the kernel of T. This is the main important one more definition of kernel of T. Kernel of T is always equal to the solution space of Ax equal to 0 matrix. See here, T of x is equal to A into x. A is a linear transformation from R to the power of n to R to the power of m. Therefore, kernel of T is equal to null space of A. Null space of A is equal to, already in previous lecture already defined what is the null space of A. The set of all solutions of the solution space is called as a null space of A. That's why null space of A is equal to x such that Ax equal to 0 matrix for every x belongs to R to the power of n. This is a subspace of R to the power of n. Therefore, the kernel of T is always equals to the null space of A, which is already defined in the previous theorems in previous lectures. And these two both are the subspaces of R to the power of n. These two are subspaces of R to the power of n. So the kernel of T is also sometimes called the null space of T. This is mainly you have to remember, kernel of T is always equals to the null space of A. Null space definition is the set of all solutions of the solution space is equal to Ax is equal to 0 is called as a null space of A. That's why the kernel of T is always equals to the null space of A, which are both are the subspaces of R to the power of n. Therefore, the kernel of T is also sometimes called as a null space of T. Now define the range of linear transformation. Already discussed, that is over. The kernel of T defined as a very important. Therefore, kernel of T is equal to x such that Ax equal to 0 for every x belongs to R to the power of n. That is called as a kernel of T. Now define the range of a linear transformation. Let T is a mapping from vector space V to W be a linear transformation, then the set of all vectors W in W that are the images in any vectors in V is called as the range of T, and it is denoted by range of T. Range of T means that are all the images of vectors in V. Range of T is defined as T of V for every V belongs to W. The range of T mainly defined as T is a mapping from a vector space V to W be a linear transformation. The set of all vectors W in W, that are the images of any vectors in V, is called the range of T, and it is denoted by range of T. Range of T is the images of V. That means T of V for every V belongs to W. See here already in the physical representation of the range of T here, domain. Domain is always represented as V, and codomain can be represented as W. Therefore, see here this the inner circle is called as the kernel of the T. Kernel of T means kernel of T is always subspace of a domain set V. That's why, therefore, the kernel of T is always a subset of V. V is the big circle. T is a transformation, linear transformation from V to W. Here also W is the codomain. Range of T. Range of T is the always subset of W. Range of T is always the subspace of W. Therefore, this is the mainly you have to remember. Here kernel of T. Kernel of T is always mapped to only zero element of W. Zero element of W. That's why the kernel of T, T of V is equal to zero only. That's why that is called as a kernel of T. Range of T means the set of all images. The set of all images of V that are in W, therefore that is called as a range of T. Range of T is defined as T of V for every V belongs to W. This is the physical representation of the domain, codomain, kernel and range of T. Kernel of T is always a subset of domain V vector space. Range space is always, it is a subset of subspace of W. That you have to remember mainly. Therefore, T is a mapping from V to W. Kernel of T is always subset of subspace of V, and range of T is always subspace of W. So already previous example, for the orthogonal projection of any vector xyz onto the xy plane is defined as T of xyz is equal to xy0. Here the domain is V is R cube. The codomain set also W is also R cube, and the range is XY plane. Here range is XY plane. The value of range is x comma y comma 0 means that is on the XY plane. That's why this is the range set. XY comma 0 is the range. It is always a subspace of the codomain R cube. Since T of 0, 0, S is equal to 0, 0 is 0, therefore 0, the kernel of T is the set of consisting of the all the elements of 0, 0, S, where S is any real number. Therefore, kernel of T already in the previous slides I already explained. Here again you can see. So the range of T is x comma y comma 0. Kernel of T is the set consisting of all the elements of the form 0, 0, S, where S is any real number because of by the mapping T of 0, 0, S is equal to simply 0, 0, 0. That means, therefore, what is the kernel of T means T of V is equal to 0 vector. Then we say that the element will be belongs to kernel of T. That's why 0, 0, S is the element of kernel of T, but it is mapping to 0 vector. That's why this is the example for the kernel of T and range of T. Already explained this example for the kernel of T. Again here we discuss the same example to find here range of T is x comma y comma 0, that is the xy plane. Here one more theorem we have to discuss. The kernel of T is a subspace of V. Here the range of T is a subspace of W. So the range of linear transformation T from a vector space V to W is a subspace of W. Simply you have to remember, in previous slide I explained kernel of T. Kernel of T is always subspace of V range of T is always subspace of W. That difference we have to mention here. Very important, that one. The kernel of T is always subspace of V. But the range of T is always subspace of W. That is a clear picture. You have to remember kernel of T and range of T. Here also we have to prove the range of the linear transformation is also subspace of W. By taking the subspace definition, what is the subspace definition? Three conditions are there. Compulsory zero vector is exists in the range of the linear transformation, and vector addition and scalar multiplication is closed under these two operations. Then we say that the non-empty set will be a subspace of the whatever the vector space. Here T of 0 is equal to 0 because of compulsory every vector space having the 0 vector. That's why the T of 0 is equal to 0. Therefore, range of T is a non-empty subset of W. Since T of U and T of V are the vectors in range of T, therefore we have by the previous definition, because U plus V is also an element of V, therefore T of U plus T of V is equal to T of U plus V, that belongs to range of the T. Because of U plus V belongs to V, therefore T of U plus V compulsory belongs to range of T. Therefore, because of T is a linear transformation already given, that's why by using the linear transformation definition, T of U plus T of V can be written as T of U plus V. Therefore, range of T is closed under vector addition. That means because T of U plus T of V is equal to T of U plus V, that belongs to range of T. Next, the scalar multiplication. C take the C into TU by the linear transformation definition, that can be written as T into C of C into U, because C into U is an element of V. Because of V is a vector space, compulsory V is closed under scalar multiplication. Cu is also an element of V. That's why the T of Cu is also an element of range of T. Therefore, range of T is closed under scalar multiplication. Three properties are satisfied by the range of T. Range of T is a non-empty subset of W because of T of 0 is equal to 0. And T of U and T of V are the two vectors in range of T. Therefore, the sum of the two vectors is closed under vector addition, and scalar multiplication is also satisfied by the range of T. Therefore, range of T is a subspace of W. Therefore, according to the previous theorem, therefore any non-empty subset of W is a subspace of W if it is closed under vector addition and scalar multiplication. That's why, therefore, the range of T is a subspace of the W. Main important here, the note points you have to remember is T is a mapping from V to W is a linear transformation. The kernel of T is always subspace of V. Already in previous we have to discuss it already. Range of T. Range of T is also a subspace of W. So T is a mapping from V to W. Kernel of T is a subspace of the domain V, and range of T is a subspace of W. Now we will discuss the corollary to the above theorems. With respect to here, we discuss the matrix multiplication. T is a mapping from R to the power of n to R to the power of m. Be a linear transformation given by T of x equal to A into x. The range of T is equal to the column space of A. That means range of T is equal to, always you have to remember, column space of A. Kernel of T is equal to, it is the null space of A. Here the range of T is the column space of A. According to the definition of the range of t, range of t is t of x is equal to ax. We know that the range of t consists of all vectors of b satisfying the ax equal to b, which is equal to find the all the vectors of b such that the system ax equal to b is consistent. Then we say that the b values can be or all the elements of range of T, that is column space of A. That's why we here to find the range of the T, now we have to define T of x equal to AX. Therefore, the range of T means consists, consists of all the vectors of B satisfying the matrix equation AX equal to B, which is always equal to equivalent to find all the vectors of B such that the system Ax equal to B is consistent. Compulsory that will be consistent means it is a unique solution or a infinitely many solutions that the system is said to be consistent. Now, the Ax equal to B can be written as in the form of column vectors. Therefore, x1 into column of A, x2 into column of B, the column vector of a second column vector of A, like this, so on, xn into the column vector of A matrix, therefore equal to B. Therefore, the system Ax equal to B consistent if and only if we find the vectors x1, x2, so on, xn such that B is a linear combination of the all the column vectors of A. That is, B belongs to column space of A. That means we can conclude that the range of T consists of all the vectors of B, which is a linear combination of the all the column vectors of A. So here mainly you have to remember the range of T consists of all the vectors of B, which is a linear combination of all column vectors of A are said to be B belongs to column space of A. Therefore, the column space of a matrix is same as the range of the T. That's why range of T is equal to column space of A. This mainly you have to remember the range of T is always equals to column space of A. This is the mainly you have to remember. So already the kernel of T is also discussed in the previous slides. Similarly, the range of T is equals to the all the vectors of B satisfying the system equation Ax equal to B, which is equivalent to find the all the vectors of B such that the system Ax equal to B is a consistent, all the vectors. That means B is a linear combination of the column vectors of A. Here, see here, B is the B, which is a linear combination of the x1, x2, xn are the constants. B is a linear combination of column vectors of A11, A21, AM1. These are the column vectors of A. R B belongs to, then we say that it belongs to column space of A. That means the column space of A is equal to range space of T. That means the range of T is equal to, always you have to remember in matrix definition. Therefore, range of T is equal to column space of A. In the previous slide, kernel of T is always equal to null space of A. These two points you have to remember. Use our example to illustrate the corollary to the above theorem. For the orthogonal projection of any vector xyz onto the xy plane, that can be already discussed in the previous slides, T of xyz is equal to x comma y comma 0. According to the above analysis, we already knew that the range of T is the xy plane. In the example, I already told the range of T is the xy plane. Range of T is equal to x comma y comma 0, where x and y are real numbers. T can be defined by a matrix A as follows: A equal to 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0, such that 1 0 0 0 1 0 0, 0 equal to Ax equal to B. Ax equal to B. B is the range of T. Therefore, Ax equal to B. Therefore, the column space A is follows, which is just in the form of xy plane. Therefore, column space is equal to x1 into the column vectors of A 1, 0, 0, x2 into 0, 1, 0, x3 into 0, 0, 0. Right? You can add these all three. We can get x1, x2, 0. Where x1, x2 belongs to what? That means it is the in the xy plane. That means for the corollary to this theorem, here we are illustrate the by using the example t of xyz equal to xy comma 0. Already the range of t is defined as a xy plane. Range of t is equal to x comma y comma 0. See, ax equal to b. B is the range of t. X comma y comma 0 already given. Therefore, B is the set of all linear combinations of the column vectors of A. That means x1 into 1, 0, 0, x2 into 0, 1, 0, x3 into 0, 0. Therefore, it can be defined as x1, x2, 0. That means it is in the form of xy plane. Therefore, that the range of T is always defined as the column space of A. Now, finding the basis for the range of linear transformation. Now take the one more example for the finding the basis for the range of linear transformation. Let T is a mapping from R to the power of 5 to R to the power of 4 be defined by T of x is equal to Ax, where x is in R to the power of 5 and A can be given like this. This is the 4 by 5 matrix. So find a basis for the range of T. Since range of T already defined, that is column space of A, finding the basis for the range of T is equivalent to finding the basis for the column space of A. That you have to remember here. Range of T is equal to column space of A. Finding the basis for the range of T, that will be equivalent to finding the basis for the column space of A. Already you know that the column space of a matrix, how to find the column space of a basis for the column vectors. Write the A vector here. Therefore, by using the Gauss-Jordan echelon form, that means by using the number of row elementary operations that can be reduced to echelon form. This is the resultant echelon form. See here, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. There are three column vectors are linearly independent, that is W1, W2, W4. Therefore, here W1, W2, W4 are independent. So W1, W2, W4 can form a basis for the column space of vector B. B is called as the echelon form of the matrix A. The echelon form, by using any row elementary option, they cannot change the values. That's why A is always equivalent to B. Therefore, by row operations will not affect the dependency of the among the columns. That's why C1, C2, C4 forms a linearly independent set for the matrix A. Therefore, C1, C2, C4 is a basis for the column space of A. That's why 1, 2, minus 1, 0. The C2 vector is 2, 1, 0, 0. The C4 vector is 1, 1, 0, 2. Forms a basis for the range of T. This is the way to find out the column space of basis for the range of T. That means the basis for the column space of a vector. In this lecture, we discussed about, we have already discussed about kernel of T. Kernel of T is a subspace of V, that is domain of the linear transformation, and range of T, definition of the range of T. And the range of T is always a subspace of W, that is codomain of the linear transformation T. and how to find the basis for the range of T. Range of T means column space of E. Similarly, kernel of T is equal to null space of E. These are the important topics we discussed today. Thank you.